Expectation is the root of all heartache.
But what if we stopped relying on others to make us happy?
We often set ourselves up for disappointment when we expect too much.
In life, it's crucial to do good without expecting anything in return.
True happiness. It comes from within, not from someone else.
In this video, I'll explore how to break free from the cycle of disappointment and take control of your own happiness.
Remember, being alone doesn't always mean being lonely.
Learn how to find fulfillment in yourself.
Join me for the full video. No one likes to be alone, especially when loneliness feels like a tangible ache in your chest, a pain that reverberates through your entire being. Loneliness is a unique and deeply personal experience, one that can't be measured or compared to the loneliness of others. Each person's loneliness is a distinct and individual struggle. Feeling like you're navigating life alone, with no one to share your joys or sorrows, can lead to a profound questioning of your value and place in the universe. As humans, we are inherently social creatures. We rely on others for survival, whether it's the farmers who grow our food, the drivers who transport us, or the clerks who assist us in stores. Loneliness can sometimes feel overwhelming, often becoming an exhausting burden to bear. There have been days when it felt like the entire world was against me, and all I wanted was to come home to someone who understood me, only to find no one there. There were times when I wanted to confide in my closest friends about my struggles, but I held back, fearing I might burden them. There were moments when I wanted to share good news with my family, but I doubted they would care. In those times, I retreated into myself, keeping my feelings locked away. The loneliness I experienced didn't always stem from being physically alone. I could feel lonely even in the company of others. I could be surrounded by friends, sharing a meal, yet still feel an emptiness inside. It wasn't that I felt misunderstood, unloved, or unwanted by those around me. It was more about a sense of not having a deep, meaningful connection with anyone. This feeling of isolation persisted despite the presence of friends, family, and even romantic interests. Despite having fulfilling jobs, supportive families, and social circles, many people often feel a profound sense of loneliness. They might laugh and smile with colleagues during the day, but as night falls and they return to their empty homes, the loneliness returns. Even when surrounded by people who care, they can still feel isolated and misunderstood. This realization makes it clear that loneliness isn't about external circumstances, but about one's relationship with oneself. People come to see that their loneliness is often rooted in a discomfort with being alone. While it's natural to have days where one might want to withdraw from the world, it's also important to be comfortable with one's own company. Many realize that they often seek out others to fill the void inside. They might rely on others to feel included, needed, and wanted. Some go on dates not necessarily out of a desire for companionship, but to avoid the discomfort of being alone. Reflecting on their experiences, people can't recall the last time they truly spent time alone without seeking the company of others. It's not about being codependent, they have their own interests, values, and identities outside of relationships. Sometimes they even feel suffocated by the demands of being in a relationship, yet there is still a need for someone to be there, to alleviate their loneliness. This realization leads to the understanding that happiness and a sense of fulfillment shouldn't be dependent on others. As I grew older, I realized that no one owes you anything. No one is responsible for your happiness or your loneliness. This understanding was a significant shift in my thinking. When we are young, we often believe that others, especially those close to us, have a duty to make us happy. But as we mature, we start to see that our happiness and well-being are our own responsibility. You can't expect people to always be there for you. William Shakespeare once said, "Expectation is the root of all heartache." I agree with that and would even add that expectations can be harmful. When we expect too much from others, we set ourselves up for disappointment. First, it hurts you when you start thinking this way and wait for others to do the same things you did for them. You might do kind things for others and expect them to return the favor. When they don't, it feels like a betrayal. This expectation can lead to a cycle of hurt and resentment. It's important to do good deeds without expecting anything in return. Acts of kindness should come from the heart, not from a desire for reciprocity. Second, it hurts you again when you keep waiting and expecting but don't get what you wanted. Often, you get nothing at all. This ongoing disappointment can erode your trust in others and make you feel isolated. It's a reminder that you need to find fulfillment within yourself rather than relying on others. In the end, you're left disappointed. Deep down, you know you shouldn't expect anything from others, but many times you just can't help it. It's human nature to hope for love, support, and recognition from those around you. However, by managing your expectations and taking responsibility for your own happiness, you can build stronger, healthier relationships. Accepting that others are not obligated to meet your needs can free you from the cycle of disappointment and allow you to appreciate the connections you do have more fully. Sometimes, though, painful experiences can teach us lessons we didn't realize we needed. These tough moments can provide insights that help us grow and understand ourselves better. For instance, there were times when I was spending a lot of time with someone, and I saw them as my source of happiness. I believed that my joy was directly tied to their presence in my life. While it's natural to find happiness in our relationships with others, the mistake I made was thinking that I couldn't be happy without them. I thought that if they ever left, I would be left with a deep sense of emptiness and loneliness. This belief made me overly dependent on them for my emotional well-being. Too many people mistakenly believe that a relationship will bring them happiness. They think that being with someone will fill any voids they feel and solve their problems. However, the truth is that you can't be truly happy in any situation until you are happy with yourself, first and foremost. Happiness is an inside job. It comes from accepting and loving who you are. When you rely on someone else to make you happy, you place an unfair burden on that person and set yourself up for disappointment. No one can be your sole source of happiness. That's something only you can provide for yourself. When you find happiness within yourself, you bring a complete, fulfilled person into a relationship. This self-satisfaction allows you to enjoy your partner's company more fully without relying on them to fill gaps in your emotional well-being. Your relationship can then be about sharing experiences, support, and love rather than seeking validation or completeness. My friend, being alone doesn't always mean being lonely. As long as you enjoy the time you have with yourself, you are going to be okay. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. If you're still with me, please leave a comment on what you learned or what you would like to add. I would appreciate it. As always, wishing you a beautiful day.